Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream where we're going to be picking stocks to trade for tomorrow. Today is July 2nd. Time is 7:30, and I thank you all for tuning in. For those of you who don't know me or are tuning in for the first time, my name is Adley Telford. I am the creator of the course on Udemy called Stock Trading Simple Beginner Guide. I am also the author of the book Better Thinking Habits Introduction Edition, now available on Amazon and in ebook and paperback format. So first thing we're going to do, as usual, is we're going to go ahead and get started. Tomorrow is going to be a short day with the trading market due to the fact that the market's going to be closing tomorrow at 1 o'clock because Friday is the 4th of July. So first thing that we always do is we all come in here to our tools in investing.com. We're going to go to our economic calendar. Here on our economic calendar, we are going to see what's happening tomorrow. And as you can see, let's click here for tomorrow. Let's go here. Hold on one second, guys. Getting some other things set up. And we're going to, let's take a look. All right. So for tomorrow, we actually have at 8:30, we have average hourly earnings coming out month over month for the month of July. We also have initial jobless claims that's going to be coming out. This is for tomorrow. Oh yeah, and we have non-farm payroll at 8:30. So a lot of the information is coming out tomorrow, but nothing really major that's going to say don't trade as of yet. Manufacturing. So we do have some things that's happening tomorrow, but nothing major to the point where we would not necessarily trade or get on trade on the market. The other thing that is really good about this particular calendar right here is we have a holidays tab. So if we click on our holidays tab over here, it'll bring us to our holidays calendar where it will tell us that tomorrow is going to be a short trading day. And if we click here for tomorrow, it'll let us know that tomorrow is a short trading day and exchange closes at 1 o'clock, right? Because the exchange is closing tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're just going to go ahead. We typically would go over here to FinViz um, as usual. And because the market is going to be closed on Friday, we would typically go over here to FinViz and we'll go into the screener. And starting next week, well, starting today, we're going to do a couple different things when it comes down to our screener. We're going to go with a lower price point. We're going to go with the price point between $5.50. We're going to go with an average volume of about 1 million. And we're also going to go with an ATR of $1. Okay. And that brings us down from 10,000 stocks to roughly about 268 stocks. Right. Now, out of this right here, like I said, we typically would not trade our healthcare stocks. And we typically would stay away from our ETFs, which is our exchange trade funds. Right. And that should bring that down a lot more. But we're not going to go through this in total. I'll say I went through this earlier and I picked about 3 stocks that I wanted to look at to possibly trade tomorrow. And if I buy these stocks, we're actually going to be holding on to those until next week, probably until next week, Friday, and seeing if we can get out of them by the end of the week next week. Because the market will be closing early tomorrow and completely close on Friday. So I don't expect there to be a lot of movement I don't expect there to be a lot of movement tomorrow as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Trading View, and then from here we're going to go ahead and what's going on? All right, what's happening? All right, so we got Trading View. We got Trading View here set up, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to type in from that original list that we were just looking at. I already filtered through it, and so we're going to go in LSC. We're going to go over to this stock over here. Let's see. Okay. Was this the stock that we were looking at? Nope. Yeah, it was not this particular stock we were looking at. What's going on right now? Okay. Maybe I put in the wrong symbol. I believe it was LSCC. Yeah, I'm missing a C. I erased that on my mark. All right, so this is one of the stocks right here, LSCC. So this stock over here, we're going to be looking at it. Uh, right now, this is an area of resistance that we drew, that I drew earlier. And right now we're on a daily time frame. But if we switch over to our 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that this is an area of resistance right over here. The candlestick for today, it did close right above that area of resistance. And let's go ahead and put that on a larger chart. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Let's make this a lot bigger. All right, so here we can see that earlier today, this stock over here closed at $52, like the green price point, which is $52.29 is where the stock closed. Post market, the stock market is still open, so then it ended up going up just a little bit and closed at 52.31, which is right above that area of resistance right over here that you see we have lined up. So this one over here, we're going to look at buying that tomorrow morning, depending on pre-market, how further high it moves or how much lower it moves. And right now, if we buy it at the price of 52.31, we're going to set our stop loss right over here at 51.53. And that's basically saying we're putting $1 at risk. Okay, so for every stock that we buy, we're putting $1 at risk with this particular stock. So that's how we would look at this one over here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at the second stock that we have. Well, for this stock, well, let's go ahead and do something else right here. We're going to take this stock and we're going to say the price right now is 52.31, right? So we're going to go over to our Excel spreadsheet form and we're going to type that in. LSCC, that's going to be 52.31. And this stock has an ATR of what? What is the ATR in this one? The ATR in this one is going to be on our daily time frame. Actually, we're going to look at it. And on our daily time frame, the ATR for this one is $2.29, which means over here we're going to put in $2.29, which lets us know this stock we can buy if we have a $500 balance. If we have a $500 account and we were to buy this stock at the price of $52.31, we'll be able to get 9 shares. It'll cost us $470.79. If it has an ATR, right now it has an ATR of $2.29, which means we can make about $20.61, right? Now remember, if we have a $500 account, we're trying to figure out, we have 3 stock options, which one would we invest that $500 in, okay? So that's one stock that we're looking at. The second stock that we're going to be looking at is going to be SST. All right, SST right here. Now with this stock, we're going to go ahead and enlarge this one. We're looking at it on a daily time frame as well. All right, let's go here. And we're looking at this on a daily time frame. So here on a daily time frame, we can see that we are in an uptrend, right? Green lines on top, red lines at the bottom, not pointing all the way up. But here it did close above this area of resistance right here. So because it closed above this area of resistance, right here would be a good price point to buy it. It actually closed at $6.27. Post market, it went down to $6.14. So what I would look at doing, and let me just go ahead and shrink this down, just take this out of full screen mode. I'm sorry, let's do that and hit the escape button. And let's go here. We're going to add in we're going to go ahead and connect this from here to here. And boom. And now we can see our line. This is our area of resistance. It actually closed above that area of resistance right over here. And if we look at it on our 4-hour time frame, it actually is above that area of resistance. So it looks like it had a dip, it hit the bottom, and now it's about to go up. Now on our 4-hour time frame, we're looking at it is right on our RSI, which is right here. On our RSI, this dotted line right here, you can see that it's right above that dotted line, which is the 50. So tomorrow morning, when we look at it during the pre-market, right before the market opens up, I'm hoping that the RSI goes back above the 50 mark and it starts to stay above that area, because then we know we're in a clear uptrend, back into an uptrend, and we can buy that. That's one of the first indicators. And we're looking at that on a 4-hour time frame. Now, on a daily time frame, our RSI is practically is already broken through that area, that 50 mark, and it's come back and it bounced out above it. So if tomorrow it's still above it and it's still pointing up like it's going to stay above this area and on our RSI, I can go ahead and I would feel comfortable going ahead and buying that stock. Okay. It did break through that area of resistance. It's coming from a low. So, everything looks good right now from what I see. All right. So let's look at this stock. This stock right here, like I said, my memory is not that good. SST price right now is going to be 614, and it has the RSI of right now of $1.58. RSI of $1.58. All right. So we're going to go back to our Excel spreadsheet over here, and we're going to type in that stock, SST. It has a price point of $6.14, and we have an ATR of $1.58, which lets me know that with this particular stock, if I have a $500 account balance, I can buy that stock for $6.14 each. I'll be able to get 81 shares of that stock. It's going to cost me $497.34. It has an ATR of $1.58, but I'll be able to make $127.98. So far, SST looks like the stock that I'm going to be buying and investing my $500 in, because I can make this as a possible return for the day and compared to $20. So this looks like the better buy for me. Now remember, the ATR is basically a stock. That means this stock can go either go as high as it can go as high as it has a movement. It can go as high as $1.58, or it can go as low as $1.58. All right. So let's look at our third stock that we're going to be adding to our list right here, and then we'll do a final comparison. So now that we've looked at this stock and we've identified that this would be our entry point right here at $6.14, our stop loss would be right below that at $4.95. All right, roughly about $2. That's what we would set our stop loss. And we would buy this and expect to hold it throughout the week of next week. But we can actually make that good return of 120 something dollars in just one day. Hopefully we can make that tomorrow, but we're more than likely going to be closing this account out on a Monday. The next stock that we're going to be looking at is going to be MXC. MXC. Now, with this stock, let's go ahead and enlarge that. All right, let's go ahead and enlarge that so we can see that. We're looking at this stock on our daily time frame, right? And if you're going to switch over and look at it again on our 4-hour time frame, MXC, why are we looking at this particular stock? There might have been some major changes right before the market closed. I had picked these stocks earlier today about maybe 2 o'clock. Okay, so let's look at this again, and let's zoom out here. All right, so the reason why I'm looking at this stock, and I'll tell you right now. All right, so yeah, I'm going to zoom back in now. I just have to take a zoom out so I can recall that information. Over here, we have our area of resistance right over here, right? So let's go ahead and draw that in. This is our area of resistance, and that's what this red line is, but I'm just extending that so you guys can visually see it. That's our area of resistance. Now, here we can see what our moving average, like I showed you guys in our training course on Udemy, we have our moving average here. The green line's on top and it's pointing up. Red line's at the bottom. It's pointing up here, but it's not directly pointing up, right? So we look at our RSI over here. So when we look at our RSI and we enlarge this, we can see that the RSI, as long as it's under the 50, like here, we were in a downward trend, right? And then when it gets above the 50 and it stays above it, we're in an upward trend. And right now it's just kind of hovering around this area. So this is not necessarily a stock that I can say I'm guaranteed to buy tomorrow, but this is a stock that I want to keep an eye on, because if it stays above this area, it stays above the 50 mark right here on our RSI, and it starts to give me a clear indication that this line is pointing up, then I'll feel very comfortable buying it. All right, let's go ahead and shrink that back down. And this is our RSI over here, what we were just looking at. So we have a fresh golden cross that happened here to let us know that we're in a potential uptrend. Once this stock closes above this area of resistance here, I would probably feel a lot more comfortable buying it, but we're just going to keep an eye on it to see what happens. But right now, this is a stock that I would probably say we're just going to keep an eye on for right now. Now, let's take a look at the price of that stock. That stock, it originally closed at $9.21. So Max C, the price is $9.21. As we can see here, our RSI is $1.54 right over here, $1.54, which means on average for the past 14 days, this stock has either gone up or down $1.54, right? 154. So let's take it back to our Excel spreadsheet and let's type that in and let's see which one we are more than likely going to be looking at trading. MCX price on MCX right now is going to be $9.21. And we have an ATR of $1.54. I'm sorry, $1.54. And remember, we have a $500 account balance, right? We're assuming that we have a $500 account balance as a brand new trader. We have 3 stocks that we looked at out of the 230 something stocks that we looked at earlier on FinViz that we put it to our screener. These are the stocks that we're looking at that we can possibly trade tomorrow. Now, out of these 3 stocks, MCX, we probably are not going to be able to trade that one maybe until Monday or Tuesday, but we're going to keep that on our watch list, right? So this one would be automatically eliminated, but I just added it here so you guys can see the potential of how much money you can make. With LSCC, at the price point of $52.31, with a $500 balance, we could only buy 9 stocks, which will cost us $470.79. It has an ATR of $2.29, meaning that stock can either go up or down on average $2.29. That's the average it's been doing every day for the last 14 days. So that means we have a chance of making or only losing $20.61. If that stock moves up $2.29, we'll make $20.61 based off of having 9 stocks. If it goes down, we'll lose $20.61 based on having 9 stocks and that stock going down $2.29. It can go up or down a little bit more or a little bit less, but on average, that's what it is. Now, with SST, this is the one that we were looking at earlier. The price on this one is going to be $6.14. With a $500 account balance, we can actually buy 81 stocks, right? And that's only going to cost us $497.34. This one has a lower ATR, meaning this stock or here, SST, only goes up or down. An average for the last 14 days has been going up or down about $1.58. But because we have 81 shares and the stock could move about $1.58, that means we have a chance of making $127.98. That also means we have a chance of losing $127.98 in that one day. So this is the better trade for right now. We just looked at MCX. We know that we're not going to be able to trade that stock today tomorrow when the market opens, because it's not in the area where we want to buy it right now. But we would buy that stock at $9.21 when we do buy it. If it's still at that price point, we can buy 50 shares of that stock. We spend $497.34, which is practically almost the same thing. Why is that? Yeah, 400. It's actually the same thing. Now the ATR is going to be $1.54, but we're only making $83.16 because we're buying less stock because it's a little bit more expensive. It's about the same movement, right? It's about the same movement. We spent the same amount of money, but we're only making $83.16. We're making $127.98. This is why I always stretch when you're doing your stock screener. You want to pick stocks that not necessarily household names or very expensive. You want to buy stocks that have a lower price point, even if the ATR is not, even if it doesn't move as much as the much more higher price point, but because you're able to buy more stocks, you're able to make more, you have the potential of making more money. So SST, when we go back over here to our, so over here, let's finish this one over here. So with MXC, right now the price is $9.21. We wanted to close above the $10 mark. So you could buy here. If you want to just buy it early, I could buy here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on this for tomorrow and see where it lands. So I'm not necessarily going to buy that right now. So let's just go ahead and add that to our watch list. So we're going to pull up our watch list that we started earlier this week. And we're just going to go ahead and say add to our watch list. And we're not going to put any colors next to it when we add it on our watch list because it's not something that's ready to trade right now. We're going to go back and we're going to type in SST, and we're going to add this one over to our watch list. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add SST to our watch list. And this is a stock that we're ready to buy right now. So we're going to put a blue next to it. And that lets us know, hey, first thing in the morning when the stock market opens, we need to take a look and try to buy this stock. All right, because it's already broken through that area of resistance. Is right over here. And remember, right now the price point is $6.14. We will set our stop loss right here at the bottom, which would be we would set our stop loss right around here at about $4 and maybe 89 cents, $4.90, right underneath the lowest green candle here. But the expectation that is it should continue going up. All right, unless anything changes during the pre-market tomorrow. So that's one stock that we're going to be looking at buying. Now, the other stock that we looked at right over here was LSCC. Now, I can buy this stock because the setup, it looks really good. But if I only have a $500 account and I can only buy 9 of them, right, and it's going to cost me the same thing as one of these, it has a higher ATR, but I'm only going to be making $20 off that stock. Do I even want to get my $500 tied up in here? So out of these 3 stocks, if I only have a $500 balance, I'm most definitely just going to go ahead and buy the SST, right? Because I can get a better return on my money. So like I said, tomorrow's going to be an early day where the market's going to be closing at 1:30. So we're not going to be doing, we're going to be calling it quits here because we're not going to be looking at any more stocks because it's not going to be really an active day. And then Friday, the market's closed due to the 4th of July. And I wouldn't recommend any of you guys get caught up or tied down with any stocks over like a 4-day weekend. Okay. So that's it for right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you on Monday, same time, same place. If you guys are lost with anything that you see here, you can always go back and look at some of my previous videos or look at yesterday's video to see where we have all of these other stocks that we have listed here. And the reason why I'm not going over these because I don't want anybody to see any trades that I'm in right now and feel like they can jump into it over the weekend because I got into these trades that you see the green lines here. I got into these trades earlier during the week. So these trades are already in the green. They're already profitable. I'm just hopefully, I probably won't be able to get out of those tomorrow, but hopefully next week I'm able to get out of those and be a lot further into the green. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next week.